There's Rick.
Hi, Rick.
Hello, hi.
Find your crown molding, Rick?
Yep, I picked it up.
Big
Messing
game
up.
next week.
What's that?
Big game next week.
Yeah, it's going to be a blowout, though.
Notre Dame Clemson. Is that the one you're talking
That
about?
one will be a blowout, yeah. But I'm talking Dallas, Pittsburgh.
Oh.
Dallas.
Yeah, can't argue with that one.
We get a break.
Doug, do you have a flag? Is there a flag out there?
Yeah.
Yeah, right behind him.
I'd like to call this meeting of the East Palestine City School District Board of Education to order. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty, justice for all. Please call the roll.
Mrs. Andre.
Here.
Mr. Ginder.
Here.
Mr. Lammert.
Here.
Mr. Moore.
Here.
Mr. Novak.
Here.
Student board members report, please.
Here. Oh, can you hear me?
Yep, you're good, Christina. Go ahead.
Okay.
Hi, Christine.
Hello. Do you want me to give my report?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay. Well, I have the OHSAA has conducted an evaluation of our athletic department. Our athletic department has passed on all 74 indicators and received the highest possible rating. Some of our students this past month took the ASVAB. Our antivirus, a character education program for the middle school students, was held this past month also. Last week was Red Ribbon Week in the high school and I think middle school. Also this year it was superhero themed. Monday was dressed like a first responder. Tuesday was to design your own superhero cape. Wednesday was pajama day. Thursday was hat day. And Friday was dressed like your favorite superhero, which was actually pretty fun to participate in. Also, the high school football team has won their first game of the season this past month. Golf has finished their season placing second at sectionals. The boys cross country team took 4th place in the EOAC. The girls cross country team was the EOAC champions, and also the end of the first quarter was last Friday. So that's about it for this month. So.
Good report.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Christina.
Work session, Chris, please.
Sure. Let me, I just want to comment on a couple of those things that Christina said. Very proud of the report that we got back from the OHSAA. We get those reports every week as to what's going on around the state. And as this season has gone on, the percentages have gotten lower and lower. So the fact that being in the end of October, we were on the list 2 other times that they didn't come to be that late in October and still to get 100%, I thought was phenomenal. So our athletic, department did a great job. Our community's done a great job. So we should be really, really proud of that report. And second thing, the Red Ribbon Week that Christina talked about, what a great opportunity it was to go and walk through the school buildings and to see kids doing something normal. You know, the year has been so different with everything going on, and to be able to walk in and see our kids dressed in you know, their get-ups for each day and wearing their pajamas one day, and it just really made the year feel a little bit normal than what we typically see when we walk through the hall. So I really did enjoy that, and it was good to see the kids participate. So Christina, thank you for those. Okay, real quickly, I won't talk about the first one because we already did. Second item on my work session, just want to talk a little bit about the fact that we've completed the first 9 weeks of school. Staff, students, and families are doing a great job with the new routines and rituals. As talked about last month, we did survey parents that were online and students that were face-to-face. We did promise people that they could make that transition during the 9 weeks. Second 9 weeks did start today. We saw a 6% increase in students attending face-to-face instruction. So when we look at the kids that were in Bulldog Online, for the first 9 weeks, we had 271 kids online. That number has dropped down to 219. So now that means we've got 78% of our students back in the classrooms face-to-face. That's a great thing. We're happy to see our kids, happy to see that the community trusts in the work that we're doing to get our kids back in the classroom. It certainly did create a few issues. You know, we put a couple more kids in each classroom, social distancing becomes a little bit more difficult. In some classrooms where we had to move desks a little bit closer, we did go out and purchase those dividers that you've seen, the desk dividers, just to try and help with that social distancing a little bit more. Not any major issues, but certainly there were some concerns. But again, happy to see that, happy to get our kids in class face-to-face. We know that is the best educational environment for our kids. We certainly understand why it is that some people are not coming at this point. In that same regard, you know, I've talked the last couple of months about concerns over technology and the fact that we've been waiting. We actually ended up switching companies, and we did find additional computers. So we did take delivery within the last week of 400 technology devices. So we've got Chromebooks, we've got iPads, and we've got jetpacks to help with the online availability for houses. So our tech staff is working really hard to get all those up and ready to go. If we do get into a situation where we need to go remote, then we've got the technology to support it now. And I've shared with you many times my concerns over that. So a little bit more relieved on that. And if we're fortunate and we don't have to go remote, then we've got the technology to utilize within the classroom. So that's a real positive that's taken place within the last week. With that said, the admin team and I have been working really hard to finalize the document. We know that the COVID numbers are rising. We're going to do everything in our power to stay open as long as we can. We have no plans of shutting down. You know, shutting down within our district would come from one of three places. You know, a state mandate, certainly we would have to follow. A county mandate, we certainly would be part of that conversation, would have to follow. And the third would be an outbreak within our district. Those would be the three things that would shut us down and put us into remote. So with that said, we want to make sure, because we are watching what's going on, we want to be prepared and have very clear expectations. We have and we would be putting out in the next couple days a video. Mr. Rook, Ms. Russo, and I have been putting together a video to explain even deeper what that remote plan would look like. And we also have a document that we'll be placing on the school website that gives parents very clear expectations. But I want to reiterate again, the fact that we're doing this does not mean that we are shutting down the school. This is just to be prepared. We're just trying to be proactive because we want to make sure that parents have a very clear expectation. If you remember how this happened in the past, I mean, we had 48 hours, shut down schools, get kids out and get this started. I think we did a pretty good job. I think we'll do a much better job this time. So that information will be out in the next few days, and I'll do an all call on the day that we post that stuff, so parents have the opportunity to watch the video explanation and to be able to read the document itself. Okay. Just two other reminders real quick. Just a reminder, the end of this month is our Thanksgiving holiday. So there's no school on 11/25 through 11/30. So that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and the following Monday, school is closed for our Thanksgiving break. And then another reminder, and I gave this one last time, community's doing a great job, but I just want to remind people, if you're keeping your kid home, which you should if they're showing symptoms, if you're keeping your kid home, it's imperative that you call the school. and make sure that you report why your kid is off. It just allows us to do a better job of tracking and knowing what's going on and to watch for those trends. So please make that phone call if you're keeping your kid home. Other than that, unless anybody has questions, that's it for the work session tonight.
Thank you, Chris. Okay, we're ready for treasurer's items.
The minutes from the October 5th, 2020 meeting of the Board of Education are enclosed. A resolution is needed to approve the minutes.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Novak,
Yes.
Mr. Moore,
Yes.
Mrs. Andre,
yes,
Mr. Ginder,
Yes.
Mr. Lammert.
Yes.
A resolution is needed approving the financial report for the month of September 2020.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Novak,
Yes.
Mr. Moore,
Yes.
Mrs. Andre,
yes,
Mr. Ginder,
Yes.
Mr. Lammert.
Yes.
A resolution is needed for a transportation contract between the East Palestine City School District and Jessica Hall, who has 2 children being transported to Heartland Christian School.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Novak,
Yes.
Mr. Moore,
Yes.
Mrs. Andre,
yes,
Mr. Ginder,
Yes.
Mr. Lammert.
Yes.
That's all I have. And Doug, could you stop in and sign the minutes and the transportation contract sometime this week?
Okay, I'll be down.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Superintendent's recommendations, Chris.
It is a recommendation of the superintendent of schools that the Board of Education approve the following as a substitute for the East Palestine schools, pending background and all board approved certifications. That's Stewart, substitute aide.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Novak,
Yes.
Mr. Moore,
Yes.
Mrs. Andre,
yes,
Mr. Ginder,
Yes.
Mr. Lammert.
Yes.
Whereas the East Palestine City School District Board of Education has posted these positions as being available to the employees of the district who hold educator license and certificates, and no such employee meeting all the board's qualifications has applied for, been offered, and accepted such positions. Whereas the East Palestine City School District has advertised such positions as being available to licensed, certificated individuals not employed by the district, and no such individual meeting all of the board's qualifications has applied for, been offered, and accepted such positions. Now therefore be it resolved, it is the recommendation of the superintendent of schools that the person listed be employed for the specific supplemental position for the 2020-21 school year, pending BCI FBI background checks and other conditions of employment determined by law or board policy. Rick Hostetter, wrestling coach.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Novak,
Yes.
Mr. Moore,
Yes.
Mrs. Andre,
yes,
Mr. Ginder,
Yes.
Mr. Lammert.
Yes.
It is a recommendation of the superintendent of schools that the Board of Education approve the following open enrollment students for the 2020-21 school year.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Novak,
Yes.
Mr. Moore,
Yes.
Mrs. Andre,
yes,
Mr. Ginder,
Yes.
Mr. Lammert.
Yes.
That's all I have.
Thank you.
Is there any old or new business anyone wants to present? Set the time and date of next meeting, and I forgot to bring my calendar out. Does
I
anybody
think
have a
it's
calendar?
December 7th.
The 7th.
Yes.
Or
Yeah, 7th.
December 7th, 6 PM at the Media Center. Can I have a motion for adjournment?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
Okay, that looks like it's it. Thanks.